Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and to this time-lapse version of a very adorable little Yorkshire Terrier in soft pastel. If you'd like to see the full-length tutorial series that will come from this piece, then check me out over on Patreon. I'll add links in the description below. But if you enjoy this here, then please do hit subscribe and go check out all of my other playlists here. I have lots of informational videos all about soft pastel. This piece is 18 by 14 inches, a lovely size to work on a full body portrait. And you can see my photo reference that I was given to work from in the top left corner. And then the layout that I came up with from that photo reference. So the image of the dog was absolutely spectacular, really lovely and clear, beautifully lit. The only problem I had was deciding what to do with the background. So after a lot of Photoshop layouts, and trying to come up with different ideas, I decided to simplify the background, include some of this lovely warm coloured rug that the little dog is sitting on, but to make most of the surroundings a good bit more simple and really draw our attention to this adorable little Yorkshire Terrier. I really love painting backgrounds, but if I feel like it doesn't really add to the composition, then I'm also willing to simplify things sometimes. So a very simple background in this. Everything from the neck down on the dog is pretty out of focus. And that's actually how it was in the photo reference as well. We get such a sense of this adorable little face just reaching out towards us. And then the rest of the body and the surroundings being slightly further away and out of focus. And I love to paint that effect, especially in soft pastel, when you can create such a softness with this medium. So I start to work on her little face. Such a sweet little dog. I love when you get a photo reference from a client that just instantly melts your heart. And that is little Kelly, the Yorkshire Terrier. I love a Yorkshire Terrier, though I am a bit biased because I did grow up with one or two of them. And there's usually a Yorkshire Terrier somewhere in our family. Fantastic little breed. So full of character. So that's what I really wanted to capture here. That alert, intelligent little face. And as well as that, it seems like Kelly might have had a recent haircut. And sometimes it can be actually a little bit tricky to paint the fur when it's been cut by a groomer, for example. So, typical Yorkshire Terrier fashion, we've got hair sprouting out of everywhere on this face. Such a lovely pattern that the fur creates. Coming up on the top of the head and then falling downwards around the sides of the face. I think it's partly their lovely fur that makes them so adorable, as the fur really frames their main features so beautifully. So a real mixture of colours though in a Yorkshire Terrier's fur. And in the first section of a portrait, I'm often just experimenting with the colour choices, coming in first with the darker values and building my way up to the brightest highlights. I'm using the Canson Velvet paper for this. It's like a sandy beige colour that I'm working on here, a pretty good base for this type of fur. And then, of course, we have these beautiful, alert little eyes looking out at us. Now, part of the knack of this is to try and paint what the light and shade are doing. So I'm not just painting a dog or any object. I'm usually painting what the lighting is doing to it. And in this case, we get the main light source, which seems to be coming perhaps from a window just off to the right here. So we get a little bit more light down the right side of the dog, and we get a bit of a brighter highlight on the eye here. So just a little bit of pastel pencil for some of the details. But you can see that the majority of my work is done with the bigger pastel sticks. I use a couple of different brands. The majority of the colours are Unison Soft Pastels. And then I'll also make use of a few Terry Ludwig pastels. I particularly love the dark range. And in this piece, I'm using some of those darker colours like the dark eggplant colour, some of the really rich dark red colours that I've used on the rug as well, coming from Terry Ludwig. But the majority of my colour choices tend to be Unison pastels. And you can see that I am including some of those red tones in Kelly's fur. So sometimes I'm willing to use colours that you might not expect to see on an animal, because I'm always looking for the reflected colours. And of course, that is a very red rug that she's sitting on. So I would expect to see some glimmers of red somewhere on her, especially perhaps around the bottom of the muzzle, under her chin. And of course, these are all things that I'll go into a lot more detail in the Patreon tutorial series that will come from this. I've put together the full series, which covers all of this in real time. You'll see my color codes popping up, so every time I pick up a different color, you can see exactly what I'm using. And of course, my narration will go into a lot more detail on why I'm choosing certain colors, the types of marks that I'm making, every bit of information that I can possibly give you to show you my thought process and to pass along all of the techniques that I use to work like this. So with her face pretty much complete, the body was much quicker to do because, as I said at the start, we're nearly entirely out of focus here, so there's a bit of blur to the body. And when I'm painting something that's out of focus, my main aim is to create lots of soft edges. So no hard, crisp edges on things. Everything's really soft. And I'm really just looking for the general shapes and colours. You can start to think about it a little bit more abstractly when it's out of focus. So it's just all colours and shapes. That's what I'm looking for. So if you'd like to learn from me in more detail, come and check me out over on Patreon. I'll add the links in the description below. You can also have a good browse through my full tutorials library. You don't have to sign up to be able to browse everything that I have available, as it's not just animals. Although I could stay busy painting animals all the time, no problem, and be quite happy doing so. But I also love painting landscapes, still life. I like a bit of variety, and hopefully I can teach a bit of variety as well. But I really enjoyed this there's nothing quite like getting such a cute little character on my easel. Still one of my favourite types of painting to create. So if you've enjoyed seeing it come together here, please do remember to hit subscribe. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. It might take me a little while, but I do read them all and I do get back to anyone who has a question. But thanks very much for watching, and until next time, happy pasteling.